What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Living to Learn. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you know me as @LiveToLearnCoaching. And in case you didn't get that, you can go into the details of this video. You'll find my Instagram and TikTok handle. Please follow me on those platforms. Reach out to me through there. Send me a direct message. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you need something from me. Let me know if you want me to cover a certain topic or subject. Also, in the description of the video, you're going to find 3 opportunities to donate financially to this channel. Yes, I do accept donations, financial donations. Do you have to give? Absolutely not. Does it help? It absolutely does. But you know what I love even more than that? When people subscribe to my channel, when people like my videos, when they share them, when they comment, when they tell me, you know what, man, I really appreciated that video you put out last week. Now that means a lot. But if you want to help me continue to stay, efficient and consistent, then the financial donations do go a long way. And thank you to those of you who have already given, your precious resources because you feel like this is something that is worthwhile investing in. So thank you so much for that. Anyway, this is my channel. It's called Living to Learn. I named it that for that very reason. I am living to learn. I'm a learner. I want to be a lifelong learner. I want to be someone who is always open to learning new things, not necessarily staying stuck in my ways. And as I get older, believe me, it gets a lot harder to break out of that. It gets a lot harder to convince myself that, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's the way you see it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it actually is. That requires learning. I believe one of the people that I follow on Instagram, learning by unlearning. And forgive me, bro, if I got your handle wrong. Oh, and forgive me as well if I sound kind of stuffy and congested. I'm fighting a cold right now. As you can see, I'm still doing the videos. That's not going to stop me. But hey, you know what? Even with all the vitamin C and the rest, sometimes it just catches up to you. But anyway, Learning by Unlearning on Instagram. Great page. Please follow him. He said something about, he talked about a straw man, and then he said, God, what did he call it? Forgive me for not getting the term right. But anyway, it's like, I think he called it an Iron Man or something like that. I got to find out. Anyway, I'm sorry if I didn't get it right. But he says, what that is it's when you really look to, see something from a different perspective. Like, hey, listen, I totally disagree with you. We are on opposite sides of the fence. But I want to find out if perhaps you're actually right. Now, how do I get there? How do I do that? Well, I have to be willing to put myself on your side of the fence, hypothetically. And one of the things that he says is you have to start to almost defend that person's position. I know it sounds crazy, right? Some of you are watching this or listening and saying like, bro, you got to be kidding me. I can't stand that. All right. I can't stand those type of people. Trust me, I understand, but listen to what I'm saying. He says, hey, you almost have to start to look for reasons like, what would that benefit? If I saw it that way, what would the benefits be? Why is that beneficial? Now, again, this is a very difficult thing to do. I'm not saying everyone has the capacity to do it yet. I think we can develop it. I know it's difficult, but I'm just saying, like, as a learner, as someone who wants to learn, I'm going to have to find myself in uncomfortable places, literally and hypothetically, because I want to learn. I want to know, am I seeing this right? And that leads me to what I want to talk about today, because I'm seeing a lot of negativity on social media in regards to what is known as the New Year's resolution. The classic New Year's resolution. If you are an American, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've heard this phrase, New Year, new me. Hey, on 1/1, right? January 1st, I'm going to start doing X, Y, and Z. I am changing my old habits. I'm going to do something different. It's a new year, there's a new me. And what I'm seeing a lot of negative comments. I'm seeing a lot of kind of cynical comments. And I'll tell you why. I know why. Because most of us are not going to follow through. Most of us are not going to finish what we start. Most of us are going to go gung-ho. We're going to be emotional. We're going to be driven. And depending on how intense that drive is, it's going to carry us for some time. For some time, we're going to be on it. Until we hit a plateau, we hit a wall, we hit a space where we realize, I actually have to do this. I actually have to do this every day. I actually have to change. It's not over. It's not ending. So I understand. But I also don't understand. Because here's what I believe. And this is something that I think. I think that if we have a positive outlook for the new year, it's going to help improve our mental well-being. And I've talked about this several times on several videos. I've talked about mental well-being. I've talked about the benefits of having that healthy, that mental wellness. And I believe that having a positive outlook for the new year helps improve our mental well-being. Obviously, just saying it, just declaring it does not just make it happen. But here's what I'm telling you. If you have tried a New Year's resolution for the past 10, 5, 15, 20 years, and it has not worked, I encourage you to not lose sight of trying that again. Let me give you an example. When I was in high school, I was a terrible student. There are a number of reasons why. Public school system, amount of time at school, classes, teaching style. I mean, we can get into it, but I'm just going to keep it broad and get to the point. I wasn't a good student. I graduated high school with a 1.9 GPA. That is a 0.1% under a C average. C average is a 2.0, 1.9% is technically a D plus average. Okay? So there was nothing about that experience, excuse me, sweating out the cold. There was nothing about that experience that should have told me, you're going to go to college one day, man. You're going to get a degree one day. Nothing about that. And honestly, when I was done with school, I was done with school until I went back to school. Went to LABI College for 3 years. That was an experience. Had a lunch meeting with my grandfather one day. Here I was in my mid-20s, early 20s, lost, not knowing what really was going on, what direction I wanted to go in life. My grandfather and his wisdom, and man, I miss that wisdom. If you have wise people in your life and they're still breathing, make sure you appreciate them, make sure you thank them. And I did. And that's something that I'm glad, because I would have regretted it if I never had. But anyway, we met one day and he says, do you want to live or do you want to survive? And that conversation put me on a different road. It put me on a path to eventually going back to school in my late 20s. Got into this, it was called the School for Professional Studies. Got into the business program. I was going one night a week for 4 hours. Completed that. Still had about 19 general education credits that I needed to make up. So I went to night school, junior college, took some courses. And eventually I graduated with my bachelor's. And then 2 years after that, I went for an MBA. That was a struggle. That was a whole other ballgame. But I completed my studies and I graduated with my degree. Now, if I were to go back and look at that 17-year-old, that 18-year-old who just was not doing it, who was not performing, who would have known? Who would have known? But I decided I wasn't going to allow that experience to speak for me moving forward. And I want you to remember that as you look to the new year. As you decide to set another resolution for yourself. I want you to think about that. I don't want you to let what happened the last few years, I don't care how many years it's happened. I don't want you to let that determine what's in front of you. I believe you can do it. I know I can do it. Because I've done it. And I'm going to do it in other areas of my life. Because having that positive outlook for the new year or anything moving forward is beneficial for our mental well-being. And this is where we need to be clear, because this is where it all happens. This is where the clarity needs to be. This is where the peace needs to be. This is where the health needs to be. Right inside that brain and that mind, that brilliant mind of yours, of ours. There's nothing that sets me apart from anyone else other than the fact that I am doing, I am moving, I am wanting, I am desiring, and I am believing that there is something in front of me that I'm going to have. And I want you to think the same. That's why I do this. That's why this channel exists. So that you can decide, I'm not going to allow what happened before. I'm not going to let that determine what's going to come in front of me. That you know you can make that choice any day. So remember, if you've not seen the fruit, you've not seen the results that you've wanted, when you have declared, when you have set that New Year's resolution in motion, when you have set that future goal or those plans in motion, that does not mean that you should not have a positive outlook moving forward. Because things can change. And if you change, if I change, things will change. So I hope that that's helped. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Share this with someone who you think might benefit from it. And I hope you have a great day.